students, I am Sonali from Success Educator. Today we will learn 12th S.S.C Biology. First lesson, reproduction in lower and higher plants. This lesson is divided into the small parts to clear your each and every concepts. In this video we will discuss the three most important point of this lesson, that one are as follows: introduction of reproduction, definition of reproduction, and third one is the methods of reproduction. Now we will see introduction of reproduction. As we know that this living world is developed and created by living organisms by using one of the most important process, that is the reproduction process. But this lesson is related to the plant reproduction, so we will take one example about that. As we observe that in nature that a mature mango plant produces mango fruits, the seeds of these fruits germinate and develop into the new mango plant. Similarly, other organisms also give rise to young ones of their own kind. This ability of living being is called as reproduction. Now, how we will discuss about the definition of reproduction. Reproduction is defined as it is helpful in the perpetuation or continuation of the species in nature. Now we will discuss the methods of reproduction, third most important point. As we know that each and every organism are reproduced by using their particular method of reproduction. All these methods are divided into the two categories, asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. So let me discuss first asexual reproduction. Right, now asexual reproduction, the most important word for this reproduction is the apomixis. Apo means without and mixing. This meaning of this asexual reproduction is apomixis, so it is the uniparental. It does not involve the fusion of two compatible gametes, or the sex cell does not involve the meiosis process. Two compatible gametes means togetherness of the gametes is not involved. It is the process resulting in the production of genetically and morphologically identical progeny from their single organism, from their parents, but from the single organism, so it is a uniparental. The progeny will develop, which is genetically means vertically identical DNA will produce in the progeny also, and morphologically similar progeny with their parents. Morphologically means the shape, structure and the shape of similar to their parents. So such morphologically and genetically identical individuals are called as clones. The meaning of clones in simple language is that the Xerox copies with their parents, so they similar look like with their parents. Organisms choose to reproduce asexually by different modes or the ways, means in angiosperm, vegetative propagation in asexual, and in sexual reproduction through production of flower are the main mode of the reproduction. But in lower organism, there are many different methods of the asexual reproduction, such as binary fission, fragmentation, spore formation, budding, gemule formation, conidia formation, etc. We will discuss all these methods. So our first method is given here, fragmentation. Now what is the meaning of fragmentation? Fragments means the small pieces. Just like one thing can break down into the small pieces, that pieces are known as the fragments. And from that fragment, again the new individual will reproduce. So, for example, is the Spirogyra. Multicellular organism can break into the fragment due to one or the other reason. For example, Spirogyra is the filamentous algae. Now, these filamentous algae will break down into the small pieces known as the fragments, and the fragments of these Spirogyra will again reproduce into the new individual and create their generation. So, these fragments grow into new individual. Now, we will see the second most step is the budding process. So in the budding, as we know, the most common example is the yeast. It is the most common method of the asexual reproduction in unicellular organism. For example, yeast usually takes place favorable conditions means, as we can say that in lukewarm water by produce, and in by produce or more outgrowth. This separation develop into the new individual. Means in body, I will give the more explanation. The division is unequal and the small cells are produced, and the remain attached initially to the parent cell. Parent cell means this is the mother cell. Parent cell means, as we can say, this is the mother cell, and the small buds are attached to these. These buds will detach from the mother cell and develop into the again new individual. So it is known as the reproduction of the reproduction in the yeast. The process is known as the budding, and it is the unequal. See, this mother cell big, and the chain of the buds is again going to small. So it is the unequal, and small cells. Buds means the cell also we can say are produced that remain attached initially to the parent cell. So they will attach initially to their mother cell or parent cell, and after in favorable condition they will detach and they will produce a new individual from them. Okay, so the another steps, third one is the spore formation. Now in spore formation, as we know, the most important name is the zoospores. So different types of the motile and non-motile spores are produced by algae and fungi. Mostly algae produce a motile spore, and that are known as the zoospore, example in the chlamydomonas, while fungi produce a non-motile spore that are known as the conidia. So both spore formation and conidia formation processes include in the asexual reproduction. So this conidia formation will take place in the penicillium. For example, zoospore of chlamydomonas are spores that are formed under unfavorable conditions and exhibit asexual reproduction and are able to form a new plant. They are used by their flagella for the locomotion. So these are the zoospore, motile and non-motile, which are very useful for the asexual reproduction. These are these zoospore. It is known as the sporangium, in which zoospores are include. Okay, now the binary fission process is not given in your book, but I am explaining you. In the binary fission, binary means the two and fission means the breakdown. So the most common example of binary fission is the amoeba, paramecium. In this, the when amoeba is divided into the two daughter cell, so it is known as the binary fission. And then conidia formation we already seen here, and the gemule formation are nothing but the buds formation in the sponges. Again that bud will the develop into the new individual. So this process, these are all the types of the asexual reproduction. I explained already in deeply, and in activity it is given, the one activity is given here. Sprinkle a small spoonful of yeast over a warm water. I already told you that favorable condition for this, the lukewarm water means the warm water, and then add a sugar. Cover it wet for the 10 minutes. You will observe that it become bubbly over the water, proving that still active. That is still active. So the yeast is going on there by the budding process of asexual reproduction. Now, okay, so this is the first page of the reproduction process, which I already explained you. The points are asexual reproduction, reproduction definition, then asexual reproduction. Types of the sexual reproduction are the fragmentation, budding, spore formation, binary fission I already explained you, gemule formation I already told you, conidia formation also I explained you. This is the diagram of the budding, and this is the diagram of the zoospore in chlamydomonas, and then fragmentation process I already told you. The example is the spirogyra. You know the diagram of spirogyra. So thank you very much.